The final inductee into the 2017 Hall of Athletics in the category of leadership is William J. Wasylenko Jr., class of '69.
Bill Wasylenko, commonly known as Waz, is a member of the class of 1969. He reconnected with his alma mater when his son Steve, class of 2011, and Dan, class of 2012, enrolled as student athletes. At first, Waz found himself in the stands cheering his sons as a parent and fan. Despite never playing the sport, a passion for LaSalle football evolved into his compiling a comprehensive history of the program. He was integral in amassing information for the 100-year celebration of LaSalle football, and his video presentation was the highlight of the evening. He has digitized all of the game film as well as photographs. In addition, he has created player cards for each of the former players. He publishes, in retrospect, an e-newsletter that chronicles and details unique history about the program, and he maintains all of the individual and team statistics for the program. His efforts can be found on a link on the school website that is dedicated to the history of LaSalle football.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bill Wasylenko.
When you do something you love to do, there's hardly any work or sacrifice on your part. I love being a husband to my wife, Kathy, a dad to our children, Steve, Dan, and Chris, a son to my mom, Ginny, a brother to my brother, John, a brother-in-law to Sister Rosemary, a next-door neighbor to the Sinnott family, an honorary member of the class of 1956, and a classmate to the great class of 1969. And it's humbling when you get thanked for doing something that you love to do. My LaSalle athletic career was quite humbling. It hit rock bottom when I was cut from JV bowling. I did earn my one varsity letter in bowling, but didn't play football, was cut from basketball, and was cut for my first 3 years in baseball. But in senior year, Coach Ned Carney surprisingly handed me a uniform. I never played in a league game, but I learned so much from him, furthering my passion in baseball, and I coached for 12 years right out of high school, and then for 7 years later in life, coaching our sons. For the last 20 years, I've been an engineering manager, and any success I have in my workplace with managing people is a direct result of my managing on a ball field, which would not have happened had not Coach Carney taken pity on a senior and given him a uniform. If Ned Carney were alive today, and I got to tell him that, he would probably be humbled to find out the impact he had on me. Just after the state championship in 2009, I was given the opportunity to be the Touchdown Club's communications guy for the following season. I always loved LaSalle football, and I was eager to send out information to the players and the parents. But I wanted to learn more about the actual history of LaSalle football and communicate my findings to the email list. I was fully prepared to take on that task. I learned typing from Brother Edmund and math from Brother Robert. I learned how to write from Brother Paul and Bernie McCabe. I developed a thirst for history from a rookie American history teacher named Marty Stanzak. I learned public speaking from Ed Kelly and end on the 1959 team. And I learned psychology from Dave Deal. All I needed was a catalyst to get me going. I went online to look for anything that could get me started into LaSalle football history. On eBay, I found a 1944 LaSalle yearbook offered for 10 bucks. I won that yearbook, got it in the mail, and immediately opened it to the football section. Would you believe that the quarterback for the 1943 season was none other than Coach Ned Carney? St. John Baptist de La Salle was steering me somewhere. Eventually accessing the alumni archives, I started publishing some items and added alums to the email list, trying to engage the old with the young. The email list is now over 700, and I love sending out different items to the group. It's humbling to find out that you've allowed a golden explorer to show his grandchildren that Pop played football, or to find video for someone of a touchdown scored by their late dad. And that's how I feel today, humbled that doing something I love to do impacts so many people. But I found that there's one more response I should have to those thank yous, and something all of us LaSalle boys should have. In the summer of 2005, Kathy and I sent Steve and Dan to LaSalle's baseball camp. Joe Parisi's team had just won the Catholic League Championship, and two of their stars, Mike Pennington and Mike Valari, were counselors at that camp. Every night at the dinner table, Steve and Dan would say, Pennington did this, Valari did that. He showed me how to do this, he showed me how to do that. They enjoyed that camp immensely. Friday came, the end of camp, and I picked our boys up at the outside pool, where Mike Pennington and Mike Valari were babysitting the group. I said hi to the players, knowing them by sight because I went to several games that year. Our boys got out of the pool, dried themselves off, shook the hands of the counselors, and we headed to our car. But I stopped and turned around and went to Mike Pennington and Mike Valari. And I had to let them know of the dinner table discussions, the things the boys learned, and that I hoped they knew how much they were looked upon as heroes by our boys. The normal reaction, one that I would have had, would be to humbly say, thank you, sir, but not from Mike Valari. Mike Valari looked me right in the eye and said, that's what we're taught here. If Kathy and I needed any further proof that LaSalle was a place for our boys, Mike Valari provided it with those words. So though I'll always humbly appreciate your thank yous for doing the things I love to do, I should also learn to say, that's what we're taught here. Hail LaSalle, beat Ryan, and thank you.